protection, their snorkels and masks. That's because the concert took place about 6 miles south of Big Pine Key and a few feet underwater. The area was established in 1990 as a sanctuary to protect almost 4,000 square miles of water, including a barrier reef. Concertgoers were able to swim among some of the colorful marine life and coral formations while listening to music broadcast by a local radio station. The music was piped down underneath through waterproof speakers suspended beneath boats. The deep sea playlist included songs such as The Beatles' Yellow Submarine, Jimmy Buffett's Fins, and the theme from The Little Mermaid. People were also swimming around dressed as mermaids and other costume characters that went along with the theme. The music was interspersed with awareness about ways to minimize impact on the world's coral reefs and encourage reef preservation. Not a bad way to drum up a little interest. Brian Van Miller, CBS News.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. You know, they're sharing change, their charitable foundation, funded by members who round up their electric bills to the nearest dollar each month as a donation and support hundreds of nonprofits. Find out more at sharingchange.org. We've got our friends from the Rutherford County Paws in today. That's right. We're going to be talking about lots and lots of just really fun stuff. Gracie Martin, well, not Martin anyway. I did it again, didn't I?
It's okay. I get it all the time. Sometimes I forget, honestly.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
So people say you forget your name?
Mm-hmm. I went to the doctor the other day, and I wrote Martin, and I was like, oh, crap. I gotta put this out. It's Hill now, guys. Gracie Hill.
Yeah,
yes.
Gracie Hill and Maddie Bendur joining us here this morning. And lots of things going on. Summer about to end. School going back in session, so...
We're excited.
I guess things are pretty busy at your place, too?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Today, we kind of wanted to hit on what to expect when adopting a shelter pet. For those of you who don't know, Rutherford County Paws is the animal care and control for Rutherford County. So we do a lot of different things trying to make a safe and healthy environment for our citizens and animals. So we educate the public, we do adoptions, and we have our animal control. But the real question today is to adopt or to not adopt.
That is the real question.
That is the real question of the day.
The most important question you can be asking yourself.
So maybe, Maddie, you can help us with some of the questions that we should be asking.
Yes, I can. So we prepared some helpful tips because, again, your first question when you're adopting is, do you have the time to make this commitment?
Mm-hmm.
So a very important thing is preparing yourself and your family. Your lifestyle is going to be changing. You're adding in more expensive space, time, and commitment. Do you truly have the commitment time to be doing these things for a pet? Because now it's not about you anymore. It's about them as well. So do you truly have the time for them? Also, of course, setting up a space for them. And is that space best for them? Again, we get a lot of public members who are wanting a 90-pound dog in an apartment. Is that truly a happy space for them? Also, going into your expenses, setting up a crate for them, toys, food, water, basic training, it all adds up. Again, they are small children, so they're going to need the vet care, the time, the commitment. It's not going to be easy work for them. Also, temporary pet proofing your home. Again, we have kittens, we have puppies at the shelter. Well, kittens and puppies are known for becoming adventurous. They're learning the world. So making sure you're keeping away harsh chemicals that they could get into that, again, could cause a vet bill. Also, when they get, especially kittens, they like to knock things over. Everything to them is a toy. So keeping away those glasses, socks, shoes, everything like that, because those are all going to be seen as toys for them until you can get them their own toys.
Yeah, water bottles are, in my house, a thing that we have to keep put away.
Oh.
Because my little Chihuahua, she can open a water bottle. I don't know how she does it. Yeah, she'll open the top and drink the water out of the water bottle.
I think that's a
cool.
talent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have to keep water bottles put away because I think she's the one who makes it happen, and then all the other dogs are really happy that there's water around.
Oh,
so,
man. Fun times.
And then our last kind of, and this is a very important matter, is if you're introducing a new family member to the addition, but you already have a very four-legged friendly home, make sure these animals are not being left alone. Again, understanding this can be a stressful time for both pets. Making sure you have time to do slow introductions and have a watchful eye on all the introductions for the first couple weeks. Make sure playtime is a safe and comfortable environment. Again, we do not expect these animals to become besties overnight.
Right.
This is all their choice. We can't force an introduction because force takes away their chances of actually having a positive time. So have a separate space for each animal. Let them decide if they want to do the greeting or if they want to relax in their separate space and then choose when they want to do those greetings. Another big thing, no party time for this first couple weeks of the new pet being home. Again, don't invite big groups or other animals that are friendly friends animals into your home, especially while they're already trying to get used to you, the environment, and maybe another animal, because you're inviting something to go wrong. Again, if you're going to have a small group over, make sure there's a separate place for that animal to walk away from the situation they don't want to be put in. Unfortunately, sometimes we see a lot of our returns is because the public is forcing the situation or not putting enough thought into thinking this is a new animal in our home. Nothing is known to them because all they've known is a shelter. Again, they're a stray animal. So they go stray, shelter, another new environment. So let us as public people, staff, volunteers, it's time that we let them have the choice and understand time and commitment is a big thing to getting a pet into your home.
Well, and time with other family animals. If you're adding another fur baby to the, I can attest to this. When I got my puppy, my daughter's 10-year-old Chihuahua, she was not having it.
Yeah.
And now they're cuddle buddies. They're so I mean but it takes time,
Exactly.
and so that's very important.
None of that happened in 24
Right.
hours.
Yeah.
It took weeks, even months sometimes. Again, this is us as a community needing to understand these things because these play an important role to you being safe and to having a happy and forever friend.
Well, we have Rutherford County Paws in today. We're talking with Gracie Hill and Maddie Bendur about some very important topics. And Gracie, you wanted to touch on maybe some frequently asked questions?
Oh, yeah. So these frequently asked questions, I'm just going to hit on the top 4 right now today. The list goes on and on and on. But mainly on social media, anytime I post a pet or even when people come in and they want to see a pet, they ask these 4 questions. Are they potty trained? Are they dog friendly? Are they good with kids? And are they just genuinely trained? And we really thought it was important to hit on these things because these are stray animals. And when people are coming to the shelter, we want what's best for the animal. We also want what's best for their family. So in terms of are they potty trained? Again, these are stray animals. We have little to no background information on them. We're picking them up from the side of the road. We're not going to know if they're even having a background of being in a household. So just looking at that and knowing that even if it's a surrender and they came in being in a household prior, it's a new environment. They're not always going to know, their new
going
environment.
In a kennel. They're being placed in a small habitat where, again, if we can't take them out, we don't have the volunteers, unfortunately, that day, they're sitting in that kennel their whole day.
Exactly.
So we'll never know.
We can't always guarantee that they're going to be potty trained. Even if they were a surrender who had previous house experience, they're going into a new environment. So just reminding the public that, and also, are they dog friendly? Right now, we don't have the means to be able to dog test every single dog. That being said, we do have meet and greets when pets come in to be adopted. So that's an actual requirement. So prior to them going home with a new pet, we always require meet and greets with any other dogs in the home. And even if they have any sort of reactive behaviors or anything like that in the kennel, we will let you know if we see anything like that. Are they good with kids? This is another one. We don't have kids at the shelter, unfortunately. Even if we did, and say a dog got along with a 4-year-old, doesn't always mean they're going to get along with an 8-year-old. You know, dogs can be selective of who they want to be friends with. So just making sure that we do those meet and greets with anyone under the age of 18. Are we trained? It's simple. It's, you know, can they sit, lay down? Yeah, they might be able to sit and lay down with somebody with a blue shirt on that they've learned to gain their trust. But if you are a new face and you ask them to sit, not all the time are they gonna just automatically sit and lay down. So it's kind of just learning that these shelter pets are always learning, and you have to have the time and patience to properly give them the life that they deserve. It's not always just going to come easy.
So you're saying these are the top 4 or 5 things that you get asked just about. So these are the most frequent things that are asked of you, I guess.
Yes. Every time we post a pet, or, you know, when somebody comes in, they're always asking these questions. And so we just wanted to reiterate to the public that 9 times out of 10, we're not going to know.
I will also say that these 4 questions, very shockingly, are 4 reasons for our most returns.
Oh, really?
And this is why, again, I go into commitment. This is a commitment. Again, we cannot promise anything. As I say in the shelter to my volunteers, we're not given an autobiography about these animals. I cannot narrate their story for you. I can only give you what I learned when they step foot into that shelter. So again, you have to have the commitment, the willing to train, and the patience.
All of that is very important. Our friends from Rutherford County Paws, Gracie Hill, Maddie Bendur, are here with us today. I did want to ask a couple of things here. You know, are they potty trained? I mean, that's an interesting question, but I think one overall, maybe before you ask a question to think about is you don't know where these dogs came from, what environment they were in the first, if it's a 4-year-old puppy, the first 4 years of their life.
Exactly.
And sometimes there's unfortunately maybe abuse or things that happen. And so, I mean, there are a lot of factors in, you know, that dog has had 4 years of experience, and you are not even going to see all of those things that happen at the shelter, I guess, is the point.
Right. And there's actually a dog that has been adopted and then returned 3 times. And it's merely the fact that we just aren't giving them enough training, and then they immediately come back to the shelter. So the public needs to understand that at the shelter, we are constantly working with these animals. We have volunteers and our staff every day giving them everything we can. But when you choose to adopt an animal, you know, this dog is already regressing, and then you're not giving it the proper training it needs to even be able to
grow or prosper. You're not giving them the time. Again, we train in the shelter. When you take the vouch to adopt, it's your time. So that's why, again, I gotta get very blunt. If you don't have the commitment or the patience, don't adopt an animal, because again, I don't want to see these lacking returns that you as a public member vouching to take care of this animal could fix on your own and make that animal have a better future. And
dogs and cats are very different.
Very different.
You know, but would you say maybe a cat can make whatever their accommodations are, that they're because they kind of do their own thing, and that's what they're going to do.
So I call our cats scavengers.
Okay.
Cats can scavenge. They're nomads. They can live on their own. They don't necessarily need the training. Again, they litter train themselves naturally as a kitten. All you really have to do is clean up messes and put down the kibble in their bowl. Other than that, they're going to do whatever they want. Again, a dog is a child. A dog needs that guidance, needs that training, needs that time and effort. So yes, it is easier to adopt a cat. That's why we talk about dogs so much, because again, they're very misunderstood, and they have a more bougie level of what they need to be able to survive with. So yes, more definitely easier to adopt a cat, but sometimes even the dogs make the greater smile on their faces, I have to say.
Sure.
I get excited every time I'm able to look at any dog in that kennel.
I bet it's also really cool to see some of them maybe come back for a visit and say, hey, look, 6 months later of how good, little Susie's doing,
It's very emotional. You don't see it, but we're definitely crying in the back every
Yeah.
time we see someone come in and let us know that our pets that we were once caring for are still being cared for.
Yeah, and I guess one big takeaway, I mean, you've brought it up several times, it is a time commitment, and so if you're not ready for that, it's probably not a good idea for you.
Just wait.
Yeah.
No one ever, guess what? A beautiful thing about our world, there's going to be animals in our world forever. Just wait until the time is right. Also, don't pick an animal because they're an expensive breed and you want to show them off. This is not a show-off talent show. This is someone's emotions and welfare and care. So
Yeah.
choose because you truly want this animal.
And Gracie, you were talking about all the questions that you get asked, and it's just amazing what goes into all of that. And it's okay to ask questions, but as we wrap up here, you may not get the answers that you want, but you'll get everything that you have.
Yes, all the information that we have on these animals and pets, we will let you know. We will tell you exactly what we've seen since the moment they came into the shelter until they leave. Right now, it's the last day for our Empty the Shelters event. We have a very full shelter, so we don't want to grind on the public and say, don't adopt these animals. We just want people to know that please be ready when you do make that commitment, because we have seen it's very hard not only on the family but also on the pet. So be sure that you're ready to adopt. We have 3 of our longest stays, Travis, Derby, and Kylo. If you want to come check them out, they're still there. They've been there for a couple months now. So please definitely just make sure that you're ready when you come.
And if someone's interested in Travis, Derby, or Kylo, or just to come by and see things, kind of let us know how we do that.
Yeah, so you can take a look on our social media page at Rutherford County Paws. That's where I post all of our pets. And then also for more information about just adoption or to view our adoptable pets, check out our website, paws.rutherfordcountytn.gov.
Awesome. Well, great information today. I appreciate you both sharing that.
Thank you so
for
much
having us.
Absolutely. And again, our guests today in studio have been Gracie Hill and Maddie Bendur with Rutherford County Paws, and we appreciate the efforts they did to bring you this very important information. Now, if you missed part of the program, came in a bit late, you want to check the podcast, you can do that at WGNSradio.com. Just look under podcast and Rutherford Issues, or subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple, Google, all those places you can find our podcast, and also Big G TV on YouTube. Just check WGNSradio.com/TV. Have a great day. We'll see you back here next time.
Hello friends, Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care of families who were totally caught off guard with the passing of a loved one. There are so many details to tie up. It really can be overwhelming. Again, more than I can count are the comments from families who have pre-planned and pre-funded their or their loved one's funeral, saying, "I'm so thankful we took care of this ahead of time. It would have been a financial hardship had we not. Let me help your pre-plan. Call me at 615-893-2422.
And now a look at today's death notices. Mrs. Geneva Hill Patton